Hello, plant lovers, and welcome back to Planted Mind. Today I'm going to be talking about the whale fin snake plant, which is also known as Sansevieria amazoniana. It gets its name because the leaves are so big and they remind of the whale fin, and the patterns on the leaves are absolutely beautiful. And if they're green and have these different patterns, and it has a red outline around the leaf. This plant is one of the easiest plants to take care of, and you basically need just to water it. It's not pretentious, doesn't really require special treatment. It likes bright indirect lights, but also can tolerate low light. Isn't this a good plant, right? You can put it anywhere and it'll grow beautiful and will be your best friend. When you're watering the plant, you have to make sure that the soil dries between waterings, because if the plant is consistently in wet soil, it will cause root rot and leaf problems and it can die. So your best bet is to wait for the soil to actually dry and then water it again, which makes it again a very easy plant to take care of. When you're repotting it, it likes to be repotted in about 2-3 years, but you can repot every single year if because this plant doesn't require fertilizing. When you repot it every year or just add some freshness of the soil, it will give it nutritions that it needs, and you're good to go. But the rule of thumb is like 2-3 years. When you're repotting, also use the soil for cactuses because it likes chunky and airy soil. And as you see, mine is brand new and it's not in that type of soil yet. But I don't like to change the soil right away when I buy a plant. So I'm actually waiting for it for a week or two in order for it to start liking my environment, because it's definitely different from the store. It doesn't need humidity and it doesn't need grow lights and it doesn't need special treatment. It's a easy to grow plant. If you want to create a bohemian looking house or environment or space, this is a plant you can have. If you want to have a minimalist house or place or space, this is a plant you can have. If you want an office that looks elegant and it looks like a high-end office, this is the plant you can have. And if you just love plants like me, this is the plant you can have. When it comes to fertilizing, as I said, it doesn't need to be fertilized. Like other plants really like fertilizing when they grow. This plant is easy to go, so it doesn't need fertilizing. I do like to fertilize all my plants once in a while. And I have another whale fin, which is larger than this one. That one I fertilize, and I fertilize like once a year. And I want to tell you that I did forget about that plant so many times, and I thought it's gonna die, but it actually enjoys when the soil is completely dry before you water it again. As in pests, usually she doesn't get pests. Occasionally you can have mealybugs or spider mites, and I'm not sure how spider mites would live on it, but it can have it. So you just need to investigate it and just look for them and see if your plant might have it. I just did right now, and mine doesn't. And I sincerely don't imagine how it can have it, but it's possible. If Google tells us, then maybe people went through that. If your leaves start to yellowing or start to be mushy or develop black spots on them, and sometimes black spots with yellow how hail hollow. Yeah, I remember Beyonce's song. And then your plant is overwatered. That means that your plant is actually suffering and you need to take it off. And like the pot, you have to take it up and just wait for the soil to dry, and make sure that you can also add some perlite to the soil in order for it to have more air. Make sure that your plant actually has a way to breathe. The roots have a way to breathe. That way you can fix that. If you're going to leave it those black spots will get bigger and bigger, and then you'll end up by cutting the leaf. You do need to cut the infected leaf if it's like huge and big, because it will spread to the rest of the plant. And also, if you cut it, snake plants are very easy to propagate, so you just cut it and you try to grow another oil fin. If your leaves get curling, if they are curling, then that means also that it's overwatered. So most of the problems with this plant will be overwatering. If you are doing everything right, you're watering it on time, or when the soil is dry, and you have a chunky soil and the plant is not in too much humidity, and you still develop some type of yellowing on the leaves. I did saw some people having yellow stuff around here on the top more than on the bottom where the root rot like would affect the plant. That means that your plant doesn't have enough nitrogen, phosphorus, or potassium. So you might want to add a fertilizer, but make sure that your soil is not wet and then you add the fertilizer, because it's going to increase the problem. You want to add the fertilizer when the soil is dry. And so if this plant would be a person, I would compare it to a person that can thrive under pressure, a person that can acclimatize or can, it's not affected by the environment, it can adapt to it, and it never gives up. Because this plant is so resilient. It's so, I don't know, it's easy to grow, and it likes everything you give it. Just give it to her, give her love. And it's a good reminder. I actually will have this plant in my kitchen, because it's a good reminder that even when we are under pressure, or maybe when we go from some stages in our lives that are not the best stages, maybe, or maybe we're just having a blue day. This plant will remind us that resilience and adaptation is what will help us thrive and never give up.